So in the studio this afternoon, we've got Hamish Dykstra. Hamish, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
2 years ago, you were living at home in Pataruru. You were a Year 13 student at John Paul College in Rotorua.
Yep.
And you've just landed back in New Zealand on a flight from Australia. What have you been doing for the last 2 years?
So my first year after school, I went to Papua New Guinea. So I did a year of service there, working in a trade school. So it was a school to help the students sort of have a second chance because they missed out on the mainstream education. And then this year I've been in Australia working at a youth employment centre.
So who have you been doing this with?
It's through the Lasallian organisation, so I'm a Lasallian Volunteer. I found out about it through my school.
So why PNG? Did you have a choice, or do you just sign up and off you go?
Well, I did have a choice, so I could have chosen to go out into Balgo in the desert, or to Perth, to a school there, or Sydney, of course. But Papua New Guinea just appealed to me because it's a third world country, of course, and I feel like I could have helped them the most there.
So what was it like living in Port Moresby? It's a city that's got a bit of a reputation for being quite dangerous, and yet the people are quite amazing at the same time.
They are, yeah. So I was a bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, going into living in Port Moresby fresh out of school, but at the end of the day, it was good. The people were so friendly, so welcoming, you know. They'd always include us at everything they were doing. I never felt unsafe. We did live in a compound, which was good because at night there sometimes was a bit of crime that went on, but the people were really friendly. Like, I felt safe walking around. They all looked after you, so yeah, it was good.
What sort of difference do you think you made to the lives of the students at the college there?
I think the biggest part was just sort of being a role model. So in countries like that, a lot of them are missing parents and caregivers and just role models in general. So a lot of them do take the wrong path and sort of get into a bit of trouble and stuff like that. But I guess just being there, being strong in our beliefs and our Lasallian values, you know, faith, service and community, gave them something to sort of look up to and, encourage them to keep going.
I was really privileged to be able to meet you up in Papua New Guinea and see where you were working with the students and to meet some of those students. And it's obvious that you were a real symbol of hope for them.
Oh, thank you.
What did it do for you personally, your experience in Papua New Guinea?
I guess it just opened my eyes up to this whole new world out there. Like, when you just come from a country like New Zealand or Australia and from good families and good towns, you know, it's hard to sort of know what's out there. Like, you see it on TV, but when you actually experience it in real life, it's different. So 1 year obviously wasn't enough. You've stayed on the Lasallian mission. So what are you doing this year? So this year I'm volunteering again in Sydney this time though. So it's a youth employment organisation called Your Town, which is also Lasallian. So what we do is we work with a whole lot of young people. Most have got sort of troubled backgrounds, some don't, but a lot of them have dropped out of school or are missing parents or have parents that have addictions or sort of generational unemployment. So they've never seen a life of employment. It's been quite interesting to see because in Papua New Guinea, they sort of saw Australia and New Zealand as a promised land, like a paradise. But now that I'm here sort of working amongst the least and the lost sort of thing, it's interesting to see that these countries actually have the same amount of problems, if not more, than third world countries such as Papua New Guinea.
So it's a very different kind of work.
Yeah.
Do you find it challenging?
I do. We get lots of support from Your Town, and a lot of it's shadowing youth workers and trying to be sort of learn the job and be a youth worker ourselves. So it's been challenging but good, especially when you have successes like when you get a young person into employment and you see the positive change in them and they're motivated now and they want to earn their own money. It's good. The
Lord's obviously put something on your heart and you've responded to it. Would you recommend doing something like what you've done for other young people?
Oh, for sure. Volunteering, I don't know where I'd be today if I didn't do it. I was a very different person when I finished school, that's for sure. It's shown me my passions, actually what I want to do in life, what I want to achieve. It's given me goals. And this year again has opened my eyes again to problems in our own countries and the change that needs to happen here. So it's been good.
Well, thank you, Hamish, for giving us this time today. And thank you for what you're doing on the mission. And may God continue to bless you in your work and in your life as your journey unfolds.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
God bless. Whew, is that all right?
Yep.
Are you very proud?
Very.